Alright, if you just heard that, that means that you are tuning in to Scary Ideas with Tim Waxelbaum, dude. That's my name. And this is the very first episode of my talk show slash podcast. Shut up. I already heard myself in another window in another computer, and I don't want any feedback unless you're calling in. That's right. Why am I already out of breath, dude? Oh yeah, 'cause I did 20 push-ups to get ready for this shit. Anyway, this thing is called Scary Ideas with Tim Waxelbaum. We're coming to you live on Facebook. This is going to be an inappropriate show where I will probably curse a lot, and I will curse people. I will I will not do anything bad. I will just do things that are scary. And yes, you can call in. That's the number right up there. It's a very cool phone number. It's very easy to remember. It has only a couple numbers in there, a bunch of zeros and shit. So anyway, this thing's gonna be the coolest thing I've ever done because it's what else do I gotta do with my life, dude? Times are tough for me, dude. Look at me. Alright, I just wanted to kind of get my hair back because it looks a lot better that way. So anyway, let me just get to my planned shit. This is my talk show. I don't want people to listen to it because I'll be making a fool out of myself a lot. There's the logo. It sucks. Took about 4 hours to make. I'm from the 90s. It's the decade I look back most fondly on. That's why I hate living in the 2020s. Yeah, I'm already rounding up to the 20s. The 10s are over. Man, they were boring. But also kind of fun because drugs exist. But other than that, man, have the 2010s been all about collective anxiety. So many people are depressed and anxious, especially the people I hang around with. I'm the type of person who says really crazy things, then after I say it and see how people react to it, I realize how crazy it was. So far that hasn't stopped into my adulthood, so I know I'll always have it. I was called weird right out of the womb. So this first episode is gonna suck. The second I talk about something, I get bored of it, dude. If you know, like, I'm already bored of this monologue. That's why I'm only doing this podcast once per week. Because I don't have that much to say. Especially not new stuff, dude. I will be repeating myself a lot. Because my ideas are all rooted from the same place. And that is that I am... Oh yeah. It's that I'm the only person who matters. This show is not about politics, by the way. Nor is it about getting me elected or into a high office or build a fan base or a political base or a cult. It's a podcast about ideas that people find scary. Alright, enough with that opening diatribe, dude. I'm drinking coffee. I will be needing it. What is that noise? Oh yeah, that's right. I'm making more coffee, so the pot is already starting to start bubbling up, dude. So yeah, this podcast, it's live, it's a talk show, it's a YouTube thing, it's on Facebook, it's everywhere, dude. All the bells and whistles, dude. So let's get into the main meat of this shit. Unless someone calls in. If someone calls in, I could just talk stuff with them. But they're afraid to. I would be too. Anyway, let's get into what I had planned, which is this. Oh yeah, I put out an open mic album. I'm an open mic comedian. That's what I say on Twitter, or that's what at least I say on Tumblr. Not Tumblr. Tinder. Yeah, Tinder. I signed up for Tinder. I'm not going to be using it on the show. That's creepy. But I got it right here. I was actually planning on doing it on the show, but to get it to sync uses a lot of computer power, and this is already technical enough, dude. So anyway, we will talk about Tinder and how it's hard to get laid on it. Here's the picture I got on Tinder. It's pretty bad. And then the other one is just me. that's my Tinder pic. Isn't that pretty bad? Just me looking all depressed. It's just me going like, yeah, Dad, I'm too cool for these streets. It says, Timothy, 29. I'm one of the funniest comedians in Chicago. So you gotta appreciate humor to get with me, or just be physically out of my league and not too annoying. That's my bio. There's more. I'm not just another sad straight guy on here trying to get laid. I'm happy as fuck and creatively fulfilled. Also own a small business, but that's only to fund my artistic pursuits. So I don't really feel like talking about it. Still reading my Tinder bio. If you like Jordan Peterson, do not match with me because then I may become emotionally attached. And I'm just here to fuck, baby. I'm just added that last part. So yeah, that's my Twitter. That's my Tinder bio. I have not used it at all yet. I just created it just for this show as a joke to show you how hard it is for short men to get laid on Tinder. Here, let's go through. I'll do that later. I'm not just gonna make this a dating show or a not dating show. This is called Scary Ideas. Nope. Scary Ideas. I could put my hand over that if I want. And we're gonna talk about shit that everyone else is afraid to talk about because I got nothing to lose except for this. So anyway, I did put out an open mic album, which I could show you somehow, probably, if I go to my Facebook, but I'm not going to do that. Let's go to the YouTube version. Let's go to YouTube because that's the only place where it's at. Yeah, because I'm an open mic comedian who's been crushing open mics for the past 7 years. And how do you crush at open mics? You just talk about how everyone else is doing bad. And then usually people will just laugh at how you're not afraid to talk truth. You're not afraid to spit truth up there. Anyway, enough about me. So I'm going to play a little bit of my album, my open mic album. It's called Making Dudes Laugh. That's the album artwork. It's very embarrassing because it's just me in my bed. You know, like it's like, yeah, dude, look at me, how cool I am. And then it's like, yeah, you could join me here if you want to be with a creep, if you want to be in bed with a neck beard. Like, I don't care about getting stage time in show business. I get enough stage time. I want some bedtime, baby. Isn't that creepy? It's the most creepy thing I've ever written. It's not just something I said, it's something I've actually written down because I'm proud of it. So anyway, this is the first few minutes of my album.
Do you want to bring up the sex comic?
I don't know who it is.
All right. All right. He's one of my favorites. Give it over, Tim. Weisselbaum, everybody.
Oh, it's Tim!
It's fucking Tim.
Yo, one of his favorites. It's me talking. Good to be here. I was just in the bathroom watching other guys piss. It's not actually true. I'm not actually that creepy. I don't watch other guys piss. Style.
Jesus Christ, Tim.
Well, that's my bag. It's my MO. It's my opener. Recently came out of the closet as transphobic. Okay. Yeah, finally.
Unfortunately funny.
That's the first time I ever tried out that joke, and that's why I put it in the album, because it shows the first time I ever said it. And I'm not saying it's that good of a joke, I just want to show you that why it's in there, because it shows how people were like, oh, here, keep listening. Finally, the person I always knew I was. Get it? Somebody, get it?
Tell anybody
You get
that's
it.
funny.
People know where I stand. They know where I stand.
Joke of the night.
If it works here, it'll work anywhere. So if you weren't paying attention, the joke is that I came out of the closet as transphobic. not as transgender, as transphobic. So the joke is to point out that it's wordplay. It's just wordplay. I don't need to explain it. It's not like it's that hard to get that joke. I'm gonna put my hair back a little more. You guys ready to see how the other half lives? They're fucking sitting there. Okay, so that joke is just me basically saying everyone else sucks, but here I am to set things right. I think they were just laughing because it looked racist. I don't know. A lot of pussy comments. I'm not talking about anyone here. Sick of all these comics who just stand in the same. I'm skipping this part. It's boring. People ask me, what do you think of the election? I go, pretty easy decision for me. I'm staying on the team that gets to keep calling people cucks. Did you hear that reaction? That's because I was already doing so well that night. But I snuck in that very non-appropriate joke for them. That room was not going to laugh at a joke where I'm proud of being clearly they only reacted. There was a perfect reaction. That's why it's in the album, because the reaction is hilarious to me.
I did say Tom Travolta. I was thinking Tom Cruise.
I was thinking of sucking your dick. Sorry, just you got to do crowd work. If they're fucking up, you can't just go into material. See, that's why this is an open mic album, because it's just stuff that happens at open mic that's not funny anywhere else. I went to the zoo alone. Okay, that's a demo. I don't care. Prison, that's a loss for white. Yeah, this one I like. Get ready. It's actually called epilepsy. Never mind. Here it comes. Paul Manafort got sentenced to prison. That's a loss for Whitey. Just to get topical. That's my favorite joke on the album, probably just because it's so offensively ironic. And the only reason it worked is because I was already doing very well that night. And I was speaking in a very Southern-esque accent, like a very racist accent. So if you're doing the accent of a KKK member, people will laugh at the jokes that correspond with the accent, even if it's really weird. Anyway, that's just a little tip for you if you want to do KKK, if you want to do that type of jokes. Programmer for the same reasons every other programmer ever became a programmer, to get women to have sex with them. That's why so many programmers are angry, straight, white men like me. Playing a long game. Playing a long game. Because we don't got a natural game. I just wanted to put that one in there because I was proud of the way I said long con. I was like, long con. That's the only reason that's in the album, is because I thought that was a funny delivery. It's a terrible premise. I've only gone down on 4 women my whole life simultaneously. And that's just a joke that is a joke. It's not true. Good bear. Just gonna take some time off of Minecraft, dude. That's a real joke. I actually do still play I actually just got back into Minecraft because what else? It's a very fun game to play when you just want to. It's an escape from reality. Like if you just want to go into a simple block world, it's a great way to do that. And it's a great way to learn about architecture, and that's about it. Other than that, it's just an escapism thing. But that's a real joke. I think that's about it for the album. Maybe there's a couple other things, like another of suicide. Dude, how serious? I like that part. Hold on. Now listen to this part. Listen to this part. There should be like a service for like people who want to like go into a medically induced coma for like up to a year or so. Just for those who want to check out of life but aren't ready for the full commitment of suicide. That's just a cute little observational joke that, who cares? Anyone could have thought of that.
Hailing from Buffalo Grove, Illinois, known for his toxic off-stage personality, give it up for Tim Weixelbaum!
I told him to say that. He wouldn't have said that if I didn't tell him to say that. About the, yeah. I was booked here to fill in for someone who I guess was too important. A lot of big egos in this community. This isn't even really the stand-up community. This is kind of like an intersection between improv, sketch, and best of all, open mics. Yes, that's me. Dude, how soon? I just like the way I said dude at the end. Like there's no reason for it. It was just like a way to keep them paying attention. Just, dude! Like I say dude a lot as a filler word. Kind of like Robert Kelly. You know what, dude? Dude. Yeah, I do that. I developed it by copying Robert Kelly directly. I also directly stole the cadence of Stephen Brody Stevens, and I do his cadence all the fucking time, dude. Can't do an example right now because I'm not doing a joke. I don't want to do a joke. This is not a joke podcast. This is a serious podcast about scary stuff. Try not to curse too much. It's about the ideas, not the curse. Not about the words, dude. It's about the ideas. Anyway, so now we're on Yahoo for some reason. It's about the head story is about models who've accused a photographer of sexual assault, harassment, and offering them free photo shoots on the condition they were naked. I mean, it's tough to go straight into defending this guy, so I guess I won't. But there's two sides to every story, dude. That's what we're talking about on this podcast. We talk about defending men who keep asking for nudes and are a complete predator. I mean, I'm not saying I'm defending him right off the bat. I'm just saying, what if we tried to? He looks...
Many celebs are speaking out after a model...
Shut up. I'm the one talking about it. I'm the one who knows more. I'm just better. I know more about what it's like to be a photographer who sexually assaults people. I don't know. This story I don't really have much to say about because it seems pretty one-sided. Hold on, let me just restart the audio because it's getting kind of weird sounding there. Like, it seems one-sided. Like, what am I going to say about that guy? Anyway, I wasn't planning on talking about him, so let's just go back to what we had planned. Anyway, that was my album. I gave you a promo of my album. You could find it on YouTube/my name. You could just copy... You could just copy the letters that you see there and then put it after the slash after the youtube.com. That's it. It's pretty easy, dude. Oh, okay, actually, I'm on the wrong screen, so you couldn't see what I was pointing at there. I was actually trying to point at that. That's what I was trying to point. My name. It's my name. If you don't know my name, how to say it, which you probably don't, it's Weixelbaum. Or if you're German, it's Weixelbaum. I say Weixelbaum, though, because I'm not from there. I'm not from Germany. Weixelbaum. Or Weixelbaum. Most people say Weixelbaum, which makes sense because that sounds more American. I'm American. So I might as well say Weixelbaum. Or I might as well just change it. That's probably the best option. Is to change it. But we're not going to do that tonight because we already got it set in stone. So anyway, that was my open mic album. Let's go on to the next topic. Next topic for tonight is comedy and it being dead. Comedy is dead is the topic. PC police running amok. Let's look up the word amok. I need to look that up. Okay, amok means to behave uncontrollably and disruptively. Yes, running amok. I don't really know if it's running amok. The PC culture, it's not running amok. It's systematically oppressing and has a chokehold over the art form. Like it's completely worked its way into the art form. It's not disorganized. It's completely organized in a terrible way. So we're going to talk about that. Why am I complaining about comedy being dead? Well, because I don't know. It's a very hard topic to get into because I don't actually feel like it's completely dead right now because I'm doing it. I'm doing it right now. Not really. This is very boring and serious, but it's the first episode, so I don't care. I don't care. Is comedy dead? Yeah, it's dying. I mean, do I want to assign blame to who's killing it right now? Yes, if someone was going to take the other side of it. But if I'm just talking to myself, I don't know. Is it like I just see a lot of people getting into comedy because they want to express hate of some kind towards, politics or something, or how they're a victim. It's very popular to be a victim these days. The victim Olympics is a phrase that I've heard before. I like to throw it around. I throw around phrases a lot that are said a lot in right-wing media. Like Fox News probably says victim Olympics a lot. And people don't like that, I've noticed. People don't like when I list talking points and Fox News rhetoric, especially on stage. I do the same thing that leftists do on stage, just from a different perspective. Like, I go on hate. I do jokes that are based on hate towards like the opposite end of the spectrum. Like, an example of a leftist joke would be, oh man, we're so terrible to other countries, man. This white America, it's just a bunch of greedy, rich people jerking off on other countries and importing and exporting and being corrupt and storing wealth and letting the wealth just sit and just having these super yachts that you race. I'm all for super yacht racing, but let's not go that specific. Let's just go back to the main talking point. The leftist joke would be, oh man, these fucking Indianians, they're so racist, and my mom, I have this racist uncle that I have to talk to, and boom, bam, boom, I'm better than them because I don't say what they say. It's not really a joke. The reason I did the little boom bang thing is to make it, that's where a punchline would be. But I don't think that's a funny premise to just say that you're not racist compared to someone else. I think it's funnier to do the complete opposite and to say that you are racist compared to someone else because I have a sick person. I have a sick sense of humor. I'm just a crazy person. Okay, let's get off this Yahoo thing. I don't know why we're back to Yahoo. Let's go back to the main screen. This is the main screen. Very simple. Just me, angry. And then we'll go back. There's the call-in number again. If you have balls to interrupt me, it works. I tested it. I could test it right now even. Here. Because I want to get into a heated debate, but respectful debate. A respectfully heated debate. All right, I just picked up the call. Hey, welcome to the show. Who is it? I just picked up the call. Hey. Yeah, it's my name's fucking Mike.
What's this show about?
It's about scary ideas. What are you calling about?
Nothing. I just wanted to say how much you fucking suck at this. You're really boring. You're gonna get anything interesting going on soon? You just gotta like test the phone.
All right, buddy. I don't really want to take your attitude right now. You're the first caller, and I don't really feel that I did any. I don't really feel like the show is established enough to have someone being hateful to me already. So I'm probably just gonna let you go now. Fuck that. I'm gonna keep talking until you hang up on me. That's what I just said I was gonna do. So I don't know why he's arguing. I guess that guy was not a good listener. But anyway, clearly the phone lines work, and I just wanted to show you that it actually is a serious. It's not just a joke. I'm not just like doing this as a fucking joke. Anyway, I did the next. We talked about comedy being dead. We're still on that. It's a very meaty subject, but also it sounds like I'm complaining. But also, that's kind of why I did this. So let's keep complaining. Who said something? Hey, Andrew Pauly. I saw that Andrew Pauly. I don't know if he wants me to call him out by name. So sorry if now you're in this now. Your name's in this. But he said stealing from the dead, that's messed up or crazy. And I completely agree. That's why I'm taking responsibility for it. It's not like I'm going to do it forever. I'm just saying that he has, like, Stephen Brody Stevens has a super addictive cadence. I'm not the only one who does it. When I say I steal from him, obviously I'm not kidding. I do steal. All right, fine. You caught me. I'm a dick. All right. Just call in if you want to really argue. The number's right up there. What, you don't have a phone? What, are you out of minutes? Do people not have minutes anymore in 2019? Is that why? I guess I got to switch to FaceTime or something. But no, dude, we're doing it old school, dude. We're doing old school phone number style calling, dude. So if you have a problem with anything I'm saying, you could correct me. Maybe I'll apologize. I don't know. So anyway, that was the topic of PC comedy running amok. Let's talk about hookup culture. Let's talk about that, dude. Hookup culture. As in... No, I'm just going to talk about the real thing. I was going to make a dumb joke about probiotics and how it's like a culture or something. And it's like but no, hookup culture is this new thing sweeping the nation. Like everyone, millennials, they're all about it. They're all about hooking up and being polyamorous and not getting tied to nothing. And I don't blame them. I do not blame them, dude. Who the fuck would want to marry a millennial, dude? They don't make any money. They're hopeless, to be honest. Like, sure, they got, like, aesthetically, like, physically, we're hot. Like, millennials are fucking hot, dude. I'm not kidding. I'm not, like, fucking with you there. But pretty much anyone's hot who's close to my age. Like, anyone that I think is... Like, anyone old enough to fuck and young enough to fuck is hot. That's kind of the definition of hot. Fuckable. Fuckable means hot. Hot means you want to fuck them. Sorry for getting a little too adult here, but this is an adult show. Oh shit, I just remembered I'm making coffee. I hope someone could call in and like do a long monologue so I could finish making coffee without there being like 50 minutes without there being any dead air. But I guess I have not successfully shamed anyone into doing that yet. So I got boiling water over there. This is a very slow podcast with a lot of dead, that's why you need two people. But hey, this is the first episode. Anyway, back to hookup culture. So yeah, millennials, who would want to marry a millennial unless they're a billionaire, which is 0% of them. Unless you're like Mark Zuckerberg, of course, anyone would marry him. You'd have to be an idiot not to marry him. Jeff Bezos, of course, he's not a millennial, but he's a baby boomer. Baby boomers, they did not like to hook up because they had good jobs And why would they waste time hooking up when there's stability all around them? It just seemed kind of asymmetrical to not that they didn't do that. They had affairs. Baby boomers had affairs, dude. Millennials are not even mature enough for affairs. Like, we don't call them that. We just call them cheating and being polyamorous, dude. And we're all about hooking up, as in and then there's the thing about ghosting. Because have you ever ghosted anyone? Call if you've ghosted. I'd like to talk to someone who has something to say about the process of ghosting someone and being ghosted, and whether it's okay, and how much it hurts, and how often you've done it. I've done it only out of necessity. I'm not going to get too personal, but what happens if I do get too personal? Probably nothing, because that would just increase the chances of people talking about this, probably. So without naming names, I'll say that I did ghost people in my life. I've ghosted people. One girlfriend, ghosted her. I had to block her. So it's not really ghosting, but it was just because it got too manipulative. Like she was using sex to continue to see me after the relationship was way over, and I was only using her for sex, is what I meant to say. I meant to say that I was only using her for sex. I don't know what the fuck she was using me for. I assume she was using me for something, because it felt like that. Because it wasn't like a real love type of thing. It wasn't like, oh, I love you, you're so great. I wanna support you and make you grow. No, I wasn't growing at all in that relationship. So so that's why I didn't look at it as a bad thing that I ghosted her. And it started with sex too. Like, the only reason I was into her was because she seemed easy to get to have sex with me. So anyway, I was using her for sex. Nothing wrong with that. What else? So anyway, that's all I was getting out of her, because she wasn't that smart. She was not smart. She was mean. She was a narcissist. It's probably as much as I'm willing to say about her, because it's really negative things I'm saying. But it's true. And so that's why that one ended. And it made me funnier, probably. Made me a lot funnier, because I already was funny. So trauma just makes you funnier, dude. It's just adding fuel to a fire. Like, traumatic bonding, I know a little bit about that because I've been through it. I've done it to people, and I've had it done to me. Actually, I don't think I've ever really done it to other people. But I've had 2 girlfriends who were very good at traumatic bonding. Like, they would do something to hurt you, and then apologize, and then you'd forgive them, and then it just happens, and then it happens again. It's a cycle, and it causes you to bond with them, because it's like, hey, we went through something together. And that's what all abusive relationships, kind of how they work. Whether it's physical or emotional. I know what I'm talking about. Whether it's physical or emotional, there's usually something like some sort of traumatic bonding that keeps the 2 people or 3 people together, if it's a love triangle. I don't fucking know. Why are relationships only with 2 people? I feel like there should be, like, why can't you marry more than one person? And why isn't that a thing? Like, I know polyamory is a thing, but you can't, like, usually it's, like, still separate. Like, usually you don't really want to fuck everyone that's involved, but I do. I'm just saying I'm open to it, because now that hookup culture is sweeping the nation, I'm a traditional guy. Most guys are the ones who are, like, traditional, and they're not the ones who want to, like, end it and divorce and fuck other people. Once they find somebody, I'll speak for all men. I'll speak for all men, dude. Once we find a hot chick who also is interesting and spicy and is probably doesn't like us as much. Oh man, do we want to keep them in our lives forever, dude. So we're usually the ones who want to get, tie things down. But that said, it's usually the chick. I'll speak for all chicks. It's usually the chick who wants to get married, though. So it's usually the chick who wants the commitment, but then they change their minds. So I don't know. It's very complicated. That's why I'm hoping that someone knows more about this can correct me. Oh yeah, just making sure that that's something tech. It's just never mind. Anyway, so men, we're usually not the ones who are pro polyamory. We love to get laid. We'll do anything to get laid because we think with our dicks first. Especially if you're doing nofap. Nofap is a very popular thing that's also sweeping the nation on the internet community. It's in the gamer community especially. It's where it's kind of originated. It's a dude thing mostly, but I guess women can do it too. I don't really know. It's not a woman. I don't know any women. So it's where you stop jerking off. It's very simple. You just stop jerking off, and then it just makes you want to talk to people in a very substantive way, because you just want to like it doesn't just make you super horny. It does, but also kind of wears off after a while, and then it just kind of turns into focus, and you just want to be creative, and you just want to do like cool stuff to get like women's attention, and then you get laid, usually by someone out of your league, because everyone else is jerking off and they're too afraid to try to get anything out of their league because they just jerked off. The feeling of having just jerked off is kind of a defeating feeling, dude. It's like, oh, I just let out all this man juice, this masculinity in a bottle. So that's why it takes away your confidence. It's a physical. It's like a chemical thing. It's like a hormonal thing. So you just jerk off and you go out. It's like, ugh. It's like you gotta live with the shame. Not that it's that shameful to jerk off. I'm not saying that it is. I'm not a Bible thumper. I don't even know if that's in the Bible. I guess it's somewhere in there. I don't know. But I'm not even saying that it's shameful. I'm just saying you feel like less of a man after you jerk off. You also have less energy. And so if you don't do that, you become powerful, and then also you start to hook up more and get women's attention just because you could just feel the confidence exuding off of out of your pores. And women notice that. Dudes notice that. You become an alpha male almost overnight, and you could become the leader of conversations. You could hold court. You could talk to new people you've never spoken to effortlessly. Here's a scary idea. Nah, I'll save that for later. It's racial. I don't want to get racial on the first episode, but I probably will anyway. But anyway, because this is because I could go as long as I want. But we're going to focus on the hookup part. So yeah, let's say, so anyway, hooking up is fucking fun, dude. Like, not that I've only done it like once or twice, but dude, knowing that you're on the right track to get someone to go, what was that noise? Oh shit, my coffee's... Okay, let's get back to hooking up. So game theory. I don't have game, but I know that there's something to that. There's something to not giving people power and to not caring. Like, if you get someone interested in you and not let it show that you're also interested back, they're gonna want to fuck you. All right, that's dumb. All right, this is really dumb. I'm not just gonna talk about this is not just gonna be. I could have called this locker room talk with Tim Weichselbaum and just did locker room talk, but I'm trying not to get banned on the first episode. I want this to last at least 4 episodes, at least, dude, before I get blacklisted from every platform. So this is not going to be called this is not just going to be locker room talk, dude. This is real, focused, interesting ideas. And I think we covered hookup culture. But, like, it just seems shallow. Because, like, who cares about, like, sex? To be honest, to be perfectly honest, it's not even that good compared to jerking off, dude. Jerking off is better. It's more creative. All right, hold on. We'll get more into this in a sec. Okay, we're about to get into a very scary topic here. Louis C.K. Louis C.K. He had power. All right. And he kind of tried to use it when he was not famous at the time, but he still had power because he was a respected comedian. And I don't really know the full details of what happened. I just know what it's like to be a pervert who jerks off and doesn't get laid very often. So that's why I'm pretty much an expert on this. But also, I would like to hear from someone to challenge. Like, if someone wants to challenge me on this, the phone number's right up there somewhere. It's right up there. Because, man, is this a topic that I should have someone that I should not just talk freely about, but I don't really care. Because Louis C.K., we already know that he's funny, but why was it such a big deal? Well, because things change. Culture changes what we find allowable, and that's fine. I'm fine with that. I'm pro Me Too movement. So it's fine. Like, he deserved to get in trouble for it because men, like, we kind of have to be told what not to do because men are idiots. Not all men, it's just that, like, a lot of men, like Louis, he's not an idiot, but dude, it's easy to be a creep without education. There needs to be, like, more anti-creep education in society. Like, I'm fine with how I am because I live in an isolation tank, pretty much. Like, I don't live in a high population. Actually, I do live in a very high population area. But I will be moving to a farm soon. So who cares about me? I'm talking about other men. Other men need to learn, dude, not to be a creep. Dude, you know how easy it is to be a creep now that Facebook Messenger allows you to just cold call, like, just reach out and literally call anyone in your social extended network. You know how creepy that is to send a cold message over Facebook to a woman as a dude? That's why I don't do it. But they could do it to me. Like, I don't care. That's how I met my last girlfriend, to be honest. But I mean, that's not creepy at all because it's a double standard. Okay, I'm fine. I'm done making the coffee finally. Sorry you had to. Sorry, this is the first. I didn't make enough coffee, dude, for this episode. Dude, I need the coffee though, because this is heavy stuff we're talking about, and I need my brain to think. I don't want to just spew out a bunch of stuff without thinking about it first, because that's how you get in trouble. All right, if you're listening on the podcast. Sorry for all the pauses. I'm just really lazy and don't feel like being talkative right now, but this is a show, and this is the best show I'm ever doing. This show, Scary Ideas with Tim Weichselbaum, it's going places, dude. This is just, dude, look how much of a dirtbag I look like if I just do this. Yeah, sorry podcast listeners, audio only could not see what I looked like there, but I looked like I pulled my hair back, and I like how I look like that, because I look like an Italian mob guy, kind of. The glasses don't help, but anyway, who cares? They're granny glasses. Okay, that was hookup culture. Now let's talk about aliens and UFOs. Yes, they're real. All right, next let's talk about comedy again. let's go over some of my comedy that I've done in the past few days. So, I have been doing comedy at the open mic level at a point that is starting to get dangerous, because I am not the type of comic who cucks myself into the ground. Here. Who's that? An open mic. I'm down with that, dog, because I'm powerful up here, dude. I don't do cuck comedy. I came here to talk about how I lift weights and get women. So what's up, all you sheep? I'm like a shepherd leading you up a mountain. I'm like a Sherpa. What's up? Jesus. Man? What am I talking about?
Yeah, you accents. I don't give a fuck if you're offended by my Jamaican accent. Because I'm just doing stand-up as a stepping stone to become a very corrupt politician someday. It is going great. Just working on the speech-giving part. Yeah, dude, I'll never be successful at comedy, but I'll...
Alright, this is cringy. This is cringy, dude. I'm sorry, dude, but that was a shitty performance. But I played it for you. And then I did this one at this bar where it's very lefty. Who cares, dude? Every room is lefty, as in leftist politics. Alright.
It happens organically because I'm a true artist, dude. I'm a talent, dude. I hate getting into arguments with all the hot chicks here over politics. Yeah. So many hot chicks here who would fuck me if I was not honest. If I just pretended to be a communist, I would not be here right now. I'd be 3 inches in. I'd be 3 inches deep. Half in. I don't put it in all the way. That's how you keep them interested. That's how you, yeah. That's a little tip for you. That's a little tip for you. Just give them a tip and a half of the tip. Just give them the tip and then a little bit of slack.
That was the only good part. It was a dick joke. It was a joke about getting laid, just like I've been talking about, and how I only put half of my dick in, only about 3 inches. Like, I started off by saying I had a small dick. It sounded like I was going to do a small dick joke. Nah. Regular sized dick joke. I don't self-deprecate. I self-congratulate. And so that's what that joke was me about how you only put half of the dick in to keep them interested. And that's it. And so anyway, that was that. I don't think I did anything else noteworthy. Okay. I guess I had other sets that were decent. But most of them were just me talking and getting complete silence after everything. Here, I'll play one of those. I'll play a very bad set. Want to hear a very bad set? Shit. This is gonna be embarrassing, dude. Alright, here's a set where I got literally 0 laughs.
Yes. Hot mic. Barely have to talk for you guys to hear me. I will command the attention of the entire room because I'm very good at preaching. I'm just doing comedy as a stepping stone to become a hated politician. And man, is it going good, dude. I'm just working on the speech-giving part. Dude, have you seen these basic bitches? I only happen to fall for women who think like me, laugh at the same stuff as me, and are smarter than me. So usually Jewish women. Dude, everyone here hates people like Candace Owens.
Don't talk about. Don't talk about.
Because you don't agree with her opinions. But if you agree with her, man, is she hot. Because she's talking truth and she's not afraid to alienate people. Whenever a hot chick asks me for comedy advice,
this is so bad.
My apartment
Oh
and
fuck.
my personal space
Oh fuck.
and not fuck me. Look at this as unpaid mentorship.
I can't believe I said that.
Am I getting out of that with the blue balls of the next Nikki Glazier? Man, am I good at masculine. I only do comedy for bros now. There's so much division.
Yeah, that'll get him.
Women that just become that way. Like,
Yeah, that'll get him back.
Alienates 90% of this room. As long as I get some sort of weird reaction, that means I'm killing it.
No, it doesn't. Doesn't mean that.
Because my jokes are shocking.
Don't talk about that.
People need to think about this.
I can't believe I'm playing this. This is so bad. This is so fucking bad.
I'm becoming I'm a mediocre preacher now, but hey, that's what my following's, only angry men, dude. I only hate. Most comics
Holy
turn into
fuck.
politically correct, funny pricks.
Alright, I can't keep listening to that. I didn't realize how fucking... Like, I knew it was bad. But that is the worst set I've probably ever done, dude. Holy shit. It was only like a week ago, too. That's how bad I still am. Holy shit, that made me not have... Like, that probably gave people... Like, if that was not me, I would want to kill that person. And it's me. So I have to kind of own up to it, you know? I was not even like half of the set. It keeps going. Oh my god, dude, why do I do that to myself? Like, never mind the people who had to witness it. That sucks for that. That's horrible that they... But why do I do that to myself? You know, Don? Jesus Christ. Jesus Christ. Anyway, so that was the worst set I'm gonna play for you tonight. So the next topic was actually to do a call-in interview, but I did not schedule anybody because I actually kind of just did this spontaneously at the last minute. I didn't actually think I was going to be broadcasting tonight, or ever. Like, I knew I was doing it at some point, but I'm going to look up hookup culture because, of course, there's a Wikipedia article on it. So this is what we were talking about a little early on in the show. Hookup culture is one that accepts and encourages casual sex encounters, including one-night stands and other related activity without necessarily including emotional bonding or long-term commitment. That sounds pretty good to me, dude. On paper, it sounds pretty good to me. It's generally associated with Western late adolescent behavior and, in particular, American college culture. Dude, I've been a college-age person for the past 12 years. The term hookup has an ambiguous definition because it can indicate kissing. I've had a college checking account since I was like 17, and I never went to college. Still got it. And after a certain point, they'll be like, "Dude, you got too much money to have a college account. We're gonna upgrade you to CEO level." Anyway, this is a boring article because I already described what it is in a very perfect way. So let's get controversial. Let's look up men's rights, baby. Let's go to the men's rights movement, whatever that is. Never heard of it? I've literally never heard of that. I don't know there was a movement. I thought we just kind of gave up on that. The men's liberation movement. How adorable. The consciousness and philosophy of men's liberation is critical of what it says are the restraints which society imposes on men. Men's liberation activists are generally sympathetic to feminist standpoints, and they have been greatly concerned with deconstructing negative aspects of male identity and portions of masculinity which do not serve to promote the stories and lives of all men. Dude, I love reading about men, dude. Men's liberation not to be confused with different movements such as men's rights movement. in which some argue that modern feminism has gone too far and additional attention should be placed on men's rights, baby. Yeah, so men's liberation movement is just kind of like the male version of feminism, it seems like. But men's rights movement is basically against feminism and is saying that feminism has gone too far. So if you're in the men's rights movement, people definitely hate you. A lot of people hate you more than they like you, probably, because you're saying that women hate men and shit. And hey, some of them do. Just like some men have problems with women, some women have problems with men. Some common topics debated under these umbrellas include family law, parenting, reproduction, suicide, domestic violence against men, circumcision, education, conscription, social safety net. What's conscription mean? The draft. Yeah, that makes sense. I mean, it's pretty reasonable because it's mostly men who get drafted. Anyone have a problem with that? Hey, call me up. Some scholars have described the men's rights movement or parts of the movement as a backlash against feminism. Yeah, that's probably what it is. I learned that the word reactionary only refers to right-wing movements. I did not know that. I had a feeling that's what it meant because that's how I feel all the fucking time. So it's here's the definition of reactionary. It's opposing political or social liberation or reform. And then if you go to synonyms, like literally, read that. Reactionary attitude towards women's rights. So I fucking nailed it, dude. The word reactionary only refers to people who hate women, apparently. Like, the word reactionary itself literally means asshole, according to the dictionary. It means right-wing, conservative, rightist, ultra-conservative, ultra-right, alt-right. I did not know that until recently, and I thought that was kind of weird, because you can't be reactionary on the left? Like, you can't be reactionary against Nazism or something, or some other right-wing thing. Like a right-wing thing would be like pro-life. So if you're pro-life. So if you're pro-choice, aren't you reactionary? I don't know. I don't really fucking get it, dude. I don't know how this word can only mean conservative, but it does according to the dictionary. So anyway, and then what else was I talking about? What's a colonial blimp? The hell? Why is that? What is that? It's an airship. I don't know how the hell that came up, dude, but I guess men love airships, dude. Angry men love airships. Let's talk about angry... Hold on. Angry white males. Found it. There's an article called Angry White Male. That's what I am, so let's read about it. It's a pejorative expression for white males holding conservative to reactionary views. There's that word again. How'd that come up? It's almost like it's reading my mind or something. In the politics, typically characterized by opposition to liberal, anti-discriminatory policies and beliefs. That's me. In particular, angry white males stereotypically oppose affirmative action policies and feminism. Wow. Yeah, that's definitely me. Like, I don't oppose feminism in its entirety, because it's just basically, it depends how you look at it. If you're just talking about being equality of the sexes, like right here, yeah, what's wrong with that? I'm for that. That's for every sex. But feminism in the sense that it makes you radicalized, I guess I'm against that part of it. I'm against the falsehoods of feminism. Like, if there's a falsehood, then I guess I'm not for that, because I'm a truther. The term was popularized in reference to political voting bloc, which emerged in the early 90s. As a reaction to perceived injustices faced by white men in the face of affirmative action quotas in the workplace, angry white men are characterized as having animosity towards young people, women, or minorities. Holy shit. That's a blanket statement to say that, but I guess that's what they're talking about. That's not me. I don't have animosity towards young people, women, and minorities, but that's definitely usually the people that are leftists. Is young people, women, and minorities. It's not white, angry men. Supporters of Donald Trump have been described by some political commentators as angry white men. Even the women who support Trump are called that, I guess, is what... I don't know how that makes sense. I mean, obviously some supporters are men who are angry and white, but what about the women and minorities who support Trump just as hard? I don't know. Like, it's weird. Because it's hard... It's like this article... I'm not saying it's that biased, but it's, why put that in? I mean, if it's a blanket statement, it's just, like, there's a very blanket statement for a neutral source of, as Wikipedia claims to be, to say that all supporters of Donald Trump have been described as angry white men. I don't know. It doesn't say all of them, just says supporters. And Australia. Who cares about Australia, dude? I don't live there. In popular culture, civil rights movement, second wave feminism, alt-right. That's another phrase that gets thrown around, is alt-right. And most people just use it to attack people they don't agree with. And I'm not one of them, because I don't really think that gets you very far in a conversation. Just call someone you disagree with something they're not. It's kind of like a straw man. It's also just an insult. You're just calling them a name. It's like calling someone racist just because you think they said something racist. That doesn't really mean what they're saying is not true, even if it sounds racist. Anyway, this alt-right, it's a loosely connected movement, so it is easy to just call someone it because it includes all of these things. It includes far-right, white supremacist, white nationalist, white separatist, anti-immigration, and anti-Semitic. Anti-immigration is a loose... I mean, I don't know anyone who's... I've never met anyone who's anti-immigration. I know plenty of people who are anti-illegal immigration. But, yeah, I don't know anyone who's anti-immigration. So I guess that is a pretty far-right idea to just be anti... I don't know anyone who's that crazy to think that there's something wrong with immigration, but I guess they're out there. And then white nationalist, those are people who want, let's see, they want to develop a white national identity. That's a scary idea for you, definitely. Its proponents identify with and are attached to the concept of a white nation. So this is what Richard Spencer is, and like he literally wants a white nation. Like, I don't think he's a white supremacist because he's not saying they're better. He's just saying he wants to be around white people only. So that's kind of weird. You know, like, what's the difference? If you're saying they're not superior, yet you only prefer to be around them, it seems kind of like the same thing. Just like it says in the second paragraph that there's overlap between supremacism and separatism. So it's very hard to be that one of those things and not feel like a Nazi or be called a Nazi, especially when the picture of alt-right is literally people with a bunch of whatever those flags are called, Confederate flags, Nazi flags, and conservative whatever flags. Like, that's far right. Like, what is up with this dude with the shield? Come on, dude. A shield? A Nazi? Dude. You're a douche. Like, he looks like very much like what you would expect someone like that to look like. Same with that dude with the nose. Yep, those are white people. They're all very white. It's usually what happens when you call yourself a white supremacist. And that dude didn't even unfold the flag. Actually, I saw someone... It's a very famous picture, actually, because there's not that many gatherings like that. So when there is a gathering of Nazis, of course there's going to be people who are trying to take pictures of it, because that's a high concentration of Nazis in one picture, dude. Of course you're going to take a picture of it. Anyway, that's enough to talk about the alt-right. I think we nailed that subject. What's paleoconservatism? Paleocon. It's American conservative political philosophy which stresses traditionalism. Yeah, I'm definitely a traditional person. I'm becoming more of one of those because, like I was talking a lot about hookup culture, I don't actually like it that much. I want a fucking monogamous relationship where I have stability and someone to rely on, like a therapist. I don't know, it's not healthy, but I think it's actually more healthy to be polyamorous. Let's look up that. Polyamory. It's Greek, because poly means, no, it's not fucking Greek. Alright, it's a practice. Alright, I know what it is. We all know what it is. I want to know if it's better. I want to know if it's better than the other thing. Let's go to criticism. Polyamory, along with other forms of consensual non-monogamy, is not without drawbacks. Someone noted that certain conditions are favorable to good experiences with polyamory, but that these differ from general population. Heavy public promotion of polyamory can have the unintended effect of attracting people. Someone's calling. Fuck whatever I was doing. Hey, welcome to the show. Hi, what's your name?
It's Bontrager.
Oh, it's Bontrager. Thanks for calling, dude. Welcome to Scary Ideas with Tim Weichselbaum.
I saw you were getting into some polyamory, some interest in alt-right stuff.
We did just get into that topic, yes. We covered alt-right. I think I nailed it in a way that's not going to, like, alienate people. I just talked about it unbiasedly, but can you hear me, by the way?
It's pretty good.
Okay.
Yeah, it's pretty good. I saw that. Yeah.
Awesome. You're the first caller ever.
Oh, fuck yeah.
What do you think of polyamory?
I think it's interesting because a lot of people want it, but not a lot of people go into it with like a clear set of like rules. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like no one's like upfront about like, you can fuck when I'm fucking, but when I'm not fucking, you can't fuck. You know what I mean? Like there's a lot of unspoken stuff that people aren't talking about.
Yeah, and I feel like it's really hard to keep it in a way that it just takes a lot of maturity, I think, on all fronts, on everyone involved. That's how I look at it. I've never really done it, but have you done it before? Like been in a polyamorous thing?
I'm on one of those fancy websites. I was on the tail end of it with like an ex, and she had like she was trying to push her like boyfriend into it. He was like a real wet blanket about it. So she just wanted to fuck. I don't like I think she just wanted to like have an excuse, and he was just going to do anything that she wanted anyways.
Yeah, I feel
it's not like he was out looking for pussy and stuff.
If I'm being honest, I would say it's usually probably the woman. It's usually the woman who wants to fuck as many dicks as they can, and the dude is the one who just has to kind of get over the jealousy part. I don't see it. This is just my opinion. I don't really know because.
Yeah, because like I don't know many guys who are like walking around being like I'm poly, and then it lasts long or it goes well.
And it's easy to get dicks, dude. If you're a hot chick, you have stock. You have a very high asset thing. Pussy is
it's a vagina market. Yeah,
and that's power for you. There's plenty of dudes with dicks like us, and we're single and boring, and we get used up. I would get bored of myself.
What do we got to do? Do we have to grow more genitalia? We got to even this out, or what?
Well, yeah. If you have two dicks, then it takes twice as long for them to get sick of you, probably. But yeah, I think if we're really being honest, there's a game there. I don't know. I don't want to be too misogynistic on the first episode, but
right. It's hard to skirt it.
So
there's
hard.
Something weird going on there.
Yeah. What else do you think? Anything else you want to talk about?
just going wide open. I mean, reptilians. I don't know why British people are so hooked into the reptilian thing.
British people are into it?
Yeah, like there was supposed to be that was supposed to be the whole reason Princess Di hit the 13th column or whatever and all that stupid numerology stuff, but it was the reptilians wanted her to get out because she was trying to I don't know, do stuff for regular people.
I do remember when Princess Diana died, and it was a very traumatic, emotional news story, and I didn't. And 97, I was 7 years old, and yeah, the reptilian thing. It's not the most compelling one for me because there's no smoking guns. It's so deep and. It seems
I just want to know where they get all that stuff. There's this I had a whole thick book, and it's just pictures of iguana, reptilians. Apparently are stuck in the material plane, and they're trying to trap us with psychic prisons, so we don't know that we're multi-dimensional beings.
Right, it ties in with that, the multi-dimensional conspiracy with which Alex Jones loves to rattle on about, and it's really hard to follow.
But you never see him going multi-dimensional.
Right. He stays exactly the same. I mean, he's still just a blob of whatever. He's a mess, but I love talking about him. I would have him on if Alex wants to call in. Yeah, the interdimensional thing, that's ties in also with DMT, I think. Have you done any psychedelics like that?
I haven't done DMT because it's a weird thing. I trust someone. You don't know if it's bath salts or something. But I've done the regulars, the acid and the shroomies.
Right, DMT. You gotta give him a very good source, or just make. I know someone who made it themselves, and he really knew what he was doing. I was really, damn, that's a lot of effort to go through. Because it's scary as fuck.
Because it's so quick. It's you're blasted in, you're blasted out.
You blast off, yeah, and you could take too much and not really remember. It's hard to remember the peak if you take too much. I would recommend it though to pretty much any adult who is curious enough. Psychedelia, once it gets into your head, it's hard to let. You just have to do it. When I was a kid.
Are you?
Go ahead.
I was gonna say, are you the kind of guy who thinks that because there is there's a difference between acid and shrooms, but do you think there's a weird mother kind of intergalactic thing going on with the shrooms thing?
I think if you take enough, you kind of reach the same place. With shrooms, I've never really had a full out trip on, it is different for sure, but it unlocks the same thing eventually, I think. I don't know. Acid for sure is fun. Acid will make you think whatever you want to think. If you have something in your head, last time I did acid, I thought I was God, and I thought I thought I was the only person in the universe, and everyone else was just an offshoot of me. Every other personality was just me in a different body, and then it made me feel alone, and I still kind of think that, to be honest.
Because some people feel they're more guided on the shrooms thing. That there's the whole Terrence McKenna thing where you ask shrooms questions and then they give you an answer whether you want it or not, kind of thing.
Oh yeah, totally. I think that's true for all the other ones too. If just you have to take a shit ton. DMT, I don't know. DMT is just like a life and death experience where it's awesome. It's scary though. Andrew Pauly is in the chat, I believe. He wanted to call in. Do you have anything else you wanted to say before we let you go? I love talking to you. I just don't want to bore you.
Oh yeah. Oh no, this is fun. I just thinking about a lot of weird stuff. There's the one book where it was written by a medium who was contacted by an author who had died. I'll look it up and put it in the comments. But so then she this author basically gives her the whole roadmap of the afterlife, like the typical waiting area you're stuck in, where you're just if you're just a sex addict, you're just going to be consumed with like sexual activity until you just kind of like, I don't know, break through because of numbness and boredom, or you just stay there for eternity kind of thing, and like all these weird levels.
Okay, okay, that's interesting. Yeah, I heard something about like ibogaine being given to people with post-traumatic stress disorder, and like how it lifts it away from them and gives them a new lease on life. But I've never done that one.
Stuff's interesting.
And
let Andrew Pauly, and I love this.
Cool.
I love this idea of the show. You're just going at it.
Thanks, man. Yeah, it's very loose, and hopefully, if I keep doing it, it'll become better and better.
Yeah.
So thanks for being the first caller, dude.
Today,
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I'll see you, man. I'll see you around.
It's easy.
Peace. So that was a phone call. Hopefully it worked. It worked for me. I'm surprised. I don't know. I could hear him perfectly. So Andrew Pauly, he did not say he wanted to call in, but hey, if he wants to, the number's just right up there. And you can't see it when I do that, though. So look how pale my skin is. Anyway, I'm probably just going to do this for another little bit because I remember almost an hour and a half in or whatever. And I already talked about everything I know about. Let's go back to the browser polyamory. So that's what we were talking about when we left off. What did this guy say? Oh, Addison. Yo, Addison. Call in, dude. Feel free to call in if you have a phone, even. I don't know. It seems like people don't have phones that actually have minutes. I don't even know if... I don't call people. Like, the last time I called somebody was to, let me think. It's probably like a doctor or something. Yeah. I don't call people. But this is this is an old school call-in show. That's why we have a phone number. I mean, that's what it's for, dude. It's fucking low quality. It's awesome, dude. It's like the 90s, dude. Speaking of the 90s are dead, dude. What happened to smoking being bad? Like when I was a kid, I was indoctrinated very hard to think that smoking was the dumbest thing you could possibly do to yourself. And it worked. I'm dogmatic when it comes to being a non-smoker, dude. Actually, I would become a smoker if I was more like, if I was addicted to it. It's just that I never smoked enough nicotine to become addicted, and thank fuck, because I get that cred from the 90s of being cool, dude. I was so indoctrinated against smoking because they had assemblies in school, in public school, in Glenview, Illinois. It's where I grew up for half of my life. All these cool people would come just to talk about how uncool smoking was, dude. They didn't say anything about any other drugs. Like, there's DARE, which covered all the other drugs. Like, they covered weed, meth, heroin, alcohol. But it was a mess, dude, because they all lumped them in the same spiel. They're like, yeah, dude, just don't do any drugs. Not even weed. That's the same as booze. Of course, booze was in a different category, which pisses off me, of course, because it's a fucking drug. Like, let's look at this chart of hard drugs to show you where alcohol is on it. This chart right here. So, look where alcohol is. Alcohol is very far to the right, which means it's very lethal, I guess is what it means. And also, look at how high it is on the dependence. It's halfway up there. It's like, it's above caffeine, it's above MDMA, it's above weed, it's above nitrous oxide. Not that that's, who gives a fuck. It's way above these psychedelics. Mescaline, that's not fucking addictive. I guess mescaline can be lethal. I didn't know that though. Psilocybin, LSD, very safe in terms of lethality, whatever. All right, someone said something. Oh, okay, Von Traeger recommended a book. I will be doing something with that. I don't really know. Are there any flat earthers in here? Because I did talk about flat earth, so if you want to call in and talk about flat earth, the number is in the video. It's in the comment. So anyway, I was talking about alcohol. Look how fucking far it is on the scale, and it's even more dangerous than Rohypnol, the date rape drug. I don't know what ephedra is. Caffeine is pretty up there compared to LSD and marijuana. Look how safe marijuana is, but it is. You can't get addicted to it. It is pretty addictive, but come on, not compared to these other fucking things, like nicotine. Look at nicotine, dude. Nicotine's all the way up there. So nicotine's fucking crazy. All right, we got someone calling in. Thank fuck, because I'm tired of talking. Hey, thanks for calling in. Hey, what's your name, caller?
It's Andrew Polly.
Andrew Polly, you're our second caller ever. Thank you. How's it going?
No problem. It's good. I'm here to talk about the flat Earth.
Oh, you want to talk about that?
Yeah, well, I mean, last time I was checking on the live video you were talking about, are you still talking about the flat Earth?
Yeah, I did submit the video to a massive group of flat earthers, so that's kind of why I got to stay on that topic, because it is a hot topic. So, what do you have to...
Well, let me tell you...
Go ahead.
I just want to tell your viewers, you know me, you know that I am like a walking X-file. I'm a government experiment gone wrong. I know a lot of things about the government, about the CIA, about what's real and what's not real. There's psychops and there's fake psychops. There's things they put out in the internet and false facts they put out there.
Mm-hmm.
And the flat Earth is number one on there. It just makes people question NASA so they can have a space force and you just put out more in the budget or whatever. I don't know the exact motives of it, but we should talk about the Hollow Earth. The Hollow Earth is semi-realistic.
The Hollowers?
There is a lot of underground people. There's even aliens who live underground. There's an underground community. There's not necessarily hollow-ish, but there is hollowed out spaces of the Earth that people live in. And I don't mean to blow anybody's mind, but I don't have any proof of this that I've seen. I've just read the document.
Oh, really? Where'd you read the document?
There was a time and period where they just kind of like, well, we'll give you 24 hours. I mean, you still got to sleep, but we'll let you go on this computer where you can look up all of the top secret documents. And whatever you remember, but we're going to also erase your memories when it's over, and then your memories are going to come back later. And I do remember that being part of it. And also seeing a plan about the flat Earth. I thought it was a plan to flatten the Earth, but you can't flatten the Earth even with a meteor.
So you were exposed to highly classified information.
Documents, yeah.
And it's still in your head somewhere, it seems like. So they weren't successful in erasing it.
Yeah. Correct.
And so you're saying you also are saying something about an asteroid flattening the Earth. Oh no, that from what scientists know, an asteroid cannot flatten the Earth. The Earth will always keep a round surface because it's always orbiting, and gravity will push things out in a spherical way. But we can't have a flat Earth because we have mountains. Mm-hmm. Number one, like the Himalayan mountains prove that we don't have a flat Earth because they're 29,000 feet above the Earth's surface. That alone is not flat. It's definitely a bumpy Earth. On both sides, they probably would agree that yes, there's mountains, so it's not perfectly flat. Yeah. But you're also saying that it's a sphere. It's an oblate sphere, so you're not a flat earther.
Yeah. Okay. I would definitely say that I know that it's closer to a spherical shape than it is a flattened circular shape.
Right, and I would agree with you there because I believe in space.
But I also have to say, just for the flat earthers, I have never left the surface of the Earth except in the airplane.
Right.
I've never left the stratosphere or the ionosphere. I've stayed within the 35,000 foot area.
Do you believe in space?
Oh, I know it exists. I just haven't been there.
Okay.
I mean, I also know, I also look in the Air Force thing, that there's not actual aliens, there's Air Force Area 51. You should say that I'm on the Western bus right now, and I don't care that anybody hears me talking. But everybody's got headphones in anyway.
Okay.
But
Well,
at the same time, I do know actual legitimate space aliens, and I have to not say that very often. And I'm not going to reveal you who they are because they have powers that could hurt me, and I'm not going to hurt them by exposing them. But I have to say, do not go to Area 51 unless you want to get fucked up.
when you say you know them, you mean, how do you know them? What do you mean by that?
They're personal friends of mine.
Okay.
They look just like you and me. They're not bad people. They're very nice people. They're just like a person who is trying to exist on this earth just like anybody else. It's different.
So are they shapeshifters?
I've known some shapeshifters. I've known some lizard people. I've known a few different species. There's some psychic aliens. There's there's also a dude in the middle of Western trying to stop the bus for no reason.
Yeah, he's calling from a bus right now. This is a very interesting interview that we're having right now. Phone call.
Yeah, I almost had to get on the bus and fight that guy because I'm like, what are you doing?
Yeah, let's keep him on the phone. As long as we get it on the air, that'd be great.
But I can say that they're all nice people. The shapeshifting alien is kind of a liar because like anytime like they would lie to us, they would just change shapes and then be a different person. Like you have to be careful of them because they're kind of like what do you call it? Habitual to constant liars. A lot of shapeshifting aliens still have a humanistic type disorder, a personality disorder called borderline personality disorder that we many humans have, but they live in a human world, so they develop human psychiatric problems sometimes.
Yeah, that's
so
interesting. Wow.
They kind of like assimilate to us, just like the board would want you to do to them,
Yeah, you have to be probably a good liar if you're a shapeshifter. You have to remember which lies
exactly.
go
you
with
have to remember
which.
your lies, which is hard.
Yeah, that's interesting. I kind of think of them as inhuman and infallible, but you're saying they're very fallible.
They are, and I can't tell you from what my friend told me because he was a shapeshifting alien, but he's also like part human. Because some of them like actually do make hybrid humans or whatever, and they kind of originate from South America. That's where they first landed, and I should probably talk less about them. So I think I'm giving away too much about a certain species of alien, but you were talking about
this is deep information.
Drugs. I was given drugs to forget all this stuff. I was actually given not DMT, but there's another psychedelic called ADMT, which is the opposite, and that's what actually kind of makes me forget my memories. I took another drug called EZ. That's the military code for it. It's a very powerful psychedelic. When I took this psychedelic, time stopped, and I saw the feet of God. I saw 3 angels, one of them being the angel of death, because he was trying to prepare me to be an assassin for a few years. He told me it was only going to last a few years. But that was a very powerful hallucination, and it didn't exist on Earth. But the things that they told me then came true. But the movie Jacob's Ladder is based on the drug BZ.
Okay.
I don't know if anybody ever wants to watch that movie. It's an interpretation of what it's like to live on different timelines, to take different psychedelics, to live different lives all at once, and to have flashbacks of these lives. It's a very fucked up movie.
Jacob's Ladder, he said it's called. Someone in the comments just said, this guy's a tripper.
Oh, I definitely do psychedelics. And DMT, MDMA, LSD have all made the drugs that gave me wear off. MDMA made me realize that, it made me become aware of my traumatic experiences and accept them and love the world even beyond that. A year ago this time, I didn't even realize half the stuff and what drugs wore off. 5 years ago, I used to be suicidal. Now I celebrate being alive.
Okay. That's
life
interesting.
just changed 180 degrees. And
There's probably a lot of suicidal people that will hear this, so maybe we will have to have you back on to talk just about that part of your life.
well, if we're talking about scary things like suicide, all I can tell you is I've been sexually assaulted by men and women. I've had my memories erased by the government. I've had women break up with me and date white supremacists instead of me. I've had a lot of reasons to be sad, and I've almost took my life a few times. I've had friends die of suicide, and at the end of the day, your body, when you try to commit suicide, it fights you. Like your animal instincts of fight or flight kick in, and you try to stop yourself, but if they don't kick in, that means maybe it's your time to go.
Wow.
But at the same time, after all the shit I talked about that I've been through, I still find reasons to be happy and to live, even despite being bipolar. And I love myself. At the end of the day, you have to learn to love yourself.
That's a good
and it sounds
point.
like selfish and self-involved, and some people have the kind of mental health problems where they love themselves too much, so they're too selfish.
Right.
But oftentimes bipolar people are too selfless. But at the end of the day, if you're feeling down, you got to find one reason to love yourself. You got to look yourself in the mirror and say, I love myself because of A, and then search for B, and then really dig deep for C, and look at all the reasons why you love yourself, whether it's just your eyes or your personality or your mother or your father or, one of your friends. But suicide and fighting those thoughts is hard, but it's all possible to think through.
Someone just chimed in to say, I think exercise and eating healthy works best.
That is a contributing factor, but does not work best. No.
Yeah, you're talking
I
about
think
self-love. That's what you're talking
Yeah.
about. It's like a healthy form of narcissism. It's not narcissism. It's just a
narcissism is
healthy.
an unhealthy.
It's akin to self-respect, I think.
Yeah, I used to not respect myself even. I thought I was a bad person, but also, growing up without a father who was also bipolar and shamed for it, it's a stigmatism to it. But you have to beyond that. You have to live beyond that.
Definitely. I try
when
not
you're
to shame
young
people for
and you're
mental
12,
illness.
Or you're 24 and you feel you're bipolar because you snapped in the psych ward now. You might feel like there's no tomorrow, or there's no coming back from it. There's no recovery from it. But I've been through all this here. I've been in jail. I've been attempted to be murdered. I've been in war. I've come back from all of it to find love, to lose love, to find love again, to lose love again, and it's all. Everybody.
What was it?
Yes, thank you.
Oh, you're talking to someone. Cool. Well, I think that's a good place to wrap up this phone call, and I'm probably going to wrap up the entire show pretty soon, but I would love to have you back on.
No problem.
Cool. I'll let you get back. What are you doing for the rest? What are you doing? Where are you going?
I'm trying to resize my tinfoil hat and then go to the underground lair.
The underground
That's a joke.
lair.
That's a joke.
I thought it was like a show
that
or
last
something.
one, everything else I was being as truthful as possible, but that last part of a tinfoil hat was a joke.
That's the only joke you made. Everything else is dead true. That's hilarious.
Everything else was as true as I know it. Not maybe 100% true, but the truth as I know it.
Yeah, that's great. I'm glad. I mean,
as they say in the X-Files, the truth is out there.
Yeah, I just want you to leave some of it for the next time you call in. I don't want you to let it all out on the very first episode.
True.
But it was great.
I'm the second caller, though.
You're the second caller ever, dude. Thanks for calling in.
Number 2. All right, no problem. Have a good one.
I'll see you around.
Stay
Peace.
safe, my buddy.
Thanks.
Peace out.
I thought I'd be a lot meaner to the people calling it, but no, it's not. It's too early to be mean to people I know. If there's a stranger calling, I'd be much more. But no, that was a very respectful person who I actually am friends with. So, same with the other guy. I forgot who it was. Who was the first guy to call? Oh yeah, Bon Traeger. If anyone wants to call in before we wrap up, just to disagree with me or add something about what we've been talking about, I'll go through the subjects one more time. What did I talk about? I talked about how comedy's dying. I talked about the hookup culture. I talked about Flat Earth a little bit. Talked about Tinder a little bit. And I talked about my open mic album. That's how I opened the show, and that was kind of. And then I did some set review where I played some recordings from my very recent stand-up sets, and man, was that embarrassing. That was the most embarrassing part of the show, because not only was it a bad set, but it was just the most offensive, self-involved material I've ever heard. And that's what I do. I'm a very self-involved person. That's why my name's on this. It's not anyone else's name on it. This involves me and also whoever calls in, because I'm too lazy to have like real guests. Like, I'm not gonna book a guest to come all the way here just to talk when they could just call. It's a lot easier, and also then I could hang up on them if they get boring. So anyway, I guess that's enough rambling. I don't see. I mean, I feel like. I guess I don't think the flat earthers are gonna approve this, so I could probably. I'm not gonna wait for them. But next time this happens, and I don't know when the next time this is gonna happen. Like, I might do it every week. I might do it twice a week. I might do it even more than that, because this is a lot of heavy subject matter that we could talk about on this thing. So I'm very open to doing it pretty often, and also having people actually get into like real debates with me, because I like to be wrong, dude. Like, I'm doing this to look kind of bad so I could know how to look less bad in arguments and in life. Because I've been getting into a lot of political arguments because I'm not really a leftist. I'm a centrist. If you want to give me any label, I'm definitely in the center, and I'm definitely more libertarian than authoritarian. And authoritarianism is coming back, and it seems to be like they have more power than ever. And it's scary to me because I don't like censorship. I don't like people not laughing at funny jokes that are clearly funny, but I do like playing into that. I like how I'm the most easily offensive person just by my identity. Straight white male. That means I can only fuck it up whenever I do comedy or something. I can only either fuck it up or stay exactly where I'm at by doing. If I do well, I just go right back to being a straight white male who is just gonna offend somebody the next time. I'm not complaining at all. I just think it's it's a thing to play with. But I am complaining too because I'm sick of it. No, I don't care. I don't care how bad I look on here. So that was the first episode of Scary Ideas. I guess I will just play the theme song again. And then that's the end of the stream. Thank you guys for watching and calling in. We had 2 callers, both dudes. I don't care. Doesn't matter.